And our friends at AgriLiquid want to keep you updated in the grain and livestock trade. Great friends here, RFD TV and Rural Radio. They're headquartered out of St. John's, Michigan, and chance to visit with the Bancroft family at the Commodity Classic. And they've been on one of our Rural America Lives as well. They're ready for you to help out during this planting season in St. John's, Michigan. Check out their website there at AgriLiquid. Check out the grain trade right now. A lot of pressure here in corn after a friendly export inspection number, but one trader was, and others have indicated that really kind of in sympathy of the weakness we're seeing in wheat. Bottom line, we're about a nickel lower. Looking at the July contract down a nickel, 372 3/4. Let's go to Chicago. Tim Evans joining us live at the edge of that trading floor and with the Longleaf Trading. Tim, I hope you had a good weekend here. Talk about that corn trade. A lot of folks surprised the weakness we're seeing today.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, fundamentally, given the export numbers and, kind of the early wet weather that we're seeing, I mean, fundamentally that should be supportive. I mean, I think more or less the market just got a bit technically overbought, and, we're just seeing a correction off of those higher levels we achieved late last week.
Okay. So where might support show up here if we're gonna work lower here? We were within a nickel of $4 on that December. Where do you see? I mean, we're at our lows of the session here now, nickel lower. December, where are we going to set in here maybe?
Well, I mean, if you look at some price charts, I mean, you'll see that 20-day moving average where, at least when I left the office, we were about 11 cents lower. I mean, we're advising our clients, given the fundamental developments in the market, we think any additional pullbacks are providing a pretty good opportunity to get long.
Yeah, so that being said, exactly, others have echoed that. We may be lower, this is just one day, but we've got a lot of calendar left to get this crop in, and it's not going to just be a straight weather market straight up here. There's going to be some interruptions with weather, and there's more ups to come in the corn. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, the weather models, depending on which one you're looking at, are showing some pretty wet weather, going into the end of April. The 10-year average in terms of crop progress beginning on May 1st is 34%. And I think most projections right now would have us well behind that 34% mark. We have to remember, the earlier the crop gets in the ground, the better yields are expected at harvest. So, every day counts.
Hey, conversely, if we get some weather interruptions and everything goes in the ground, but it goes in the ground about the same time, it's going to pollinate about the same time. That weather at pollination is, as you know, very critical.
Absolutely right.
Look at soybeans then. So we're down about a 4 to 5 in corn. Soybeans on the other side, they're lower, but have held together better than corn this morning.
Yeah, it has, and that's actually to my surprise. I thought we'd see a little more weakness than we have. Again, I mean, the news in soybeans really isn't new. I mean, the acreage seems to be kind of what the market's now focusing on since we're past the last supply and demand report. I mean, we're seeing reports that Chinese producers are intending to increase acreage in China 8.1%. We've already heard of Argentina. We already know that the U.S. Is looking to put in a record number of acres this year. So I think that acreage concern is going to continue to weigh on the market and really prevent any dynamic rallies from materializing. And
we're hearing the NOPA crush number was a little below expectations here as well. I want to get your thoughts in wheat, though. Been the weakest of the three all session here, taking back everything they gained last week in just one day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually in the bull camp on this. I mean, obviously I don't want to buy into this weakness, but I think any considerable weakness we see lower than this, obviously, could be a decent opportunity. I mean, we have to remember, we're seeing a lot of, we're seeing some minor flooding in, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota area, as those ice packs are kind of melting, so that's going to prevent the spring wheat from, getting off to a good start. I mean, that ultimately, if that really develops into something messy, we could see those acreage switching from spring wheat to soybeans a little later, so I think that's something worth paying attention to.
And now a dime lower in that Kansas City trade. We'll take a break here, Tim, and we'll come back and put you to work looking at the livestock trade. Tim Evans joining us live from Chicago as we continue. Tim Evans rejoining us now from the edge of that trading floor in Chicago. He is with the Longleaf Trading, the owner of Longleaf Trading. Tim, look at the livestock trade here. What are your clients asking, or what are you telling them here about the beef trade as we head to now into mid-April?
Well, going back some number of weeks, as we started to see cash prices weaken up, the fact remained that, June futures continue to trade at a pretty steep discount to cash. So it has been, and I think it should continue to remain a supportive force in the market. We've seen, reports of lighter weights in terms of beef,
right?
And I think obviously that supportive factor is helping the bulls or giving them some fuel to run with here to start the week. Very
good. I'll get the numbers in a minute, and we have updated beef cutout as well. I want to get your thoughts on the hog trade, though, under pressure through them from the open, and looking still a lower here. That June, though, is trying to make a comeback. June all by itself there is a lone island. It is higher. Everything else is a bit lower.
Yeah, look, the situation remains there as well. The supply continues to look very burdensome in the near and intermediate term future. But, I think from a technical standpoint, again, the market overdid a little bit. I think we found ourselves in kind of an oversold situation. So, I think a bounce is kind of due to help kind of clean up